So, Jamie, I teased the great bargain paper that your institute wrote up. You were a part of this. I remember when I saw you a little while ago, just a couple of weeks ago, you were saying it was so difficult to get this paper out because things just constantly kept changing. Why did you decide to release it on, I believe it was July 10th? Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, we decided to get it out, as soon as we could. But as you mentioned, there were so many things that we'd be about ready to print, and then there'd be a tweet or an agreement or something else would change on defense spending or the DST or other things. And so, at some point, you just have to push the baby out into the world and
Yeah.
hope that, that it's
So
okay.
talk talk to me a little bit about what the Great Bargain discusses. I've covered this on my show just to give audience a little bit of an understanding here. I've covered this on my show, but what the Great Bargain paper really puts into perspective is the reasons why. And I found you guys really fought for the reasons why, or just laid it out point blank for us. So what's covered in the Great Bargain paper that we need to be at for discussion in this next segment?
Yeah, so basically, the paper came about through the former Conservative Trade Minister Ed Fast came to us with this idea for how Canada can get more cards at the table. And one of the big ways to do that is to make the deal more comprehensive, more wide ranging, and factoring other things. So, tying our free trade, for example, to national defense makes it much harder for a deal to be broken by either a current sitting prime minister, a future prime minister, a future president, or the current sitting president, because they'd really be going against a comprehensive deal that encompasses a lot of interests on both sides. It allows Canada to bring some of those other cards to the table that America has been asking Canada to deal with for some time.
What are these
But it,
cards, Jamie? What are these
for
cards?
yeah, so for example, things like supply management. Canada has restricted some access to dairy in Canada, and America is very hung up on that and would like to be able to access more of the dairy market in Canada. I also believe that would be good for the dairy market in Canada, but there's other things too that America really wants, like critical minerals. Having more agreement on how we're going to do critical minerals, things like building railways across the border. Those are all things, grand infrastructure projects that President Trump really wants to get done. And Canada can help with those things.
It sounds like he just wants to see us want a more North American wide partnership. Do you feel because we're a cross-border nation that we have that leverage to hold? And how much of a percentage, I guess, if you could give me any, does that give us in comparison to like the EU or, Japan of some kind as a major automotive maker? But what kind of leverage does that give us in the conversation? Is it significant?
It is significant. I mean, we account for a lot of American imports, and our trade deficit with the United States that Trump likes to talk about is actually very different than every other country. And that's one of the things we talk about in the Grand Bargain Project. Basically, our 66% of the things that we sell to America, America actually turns into other products and then sells them for profit. So oil is a perfect example. For every dollar of oil we sell them, something like $3 in profit is made to American companies who are then selling it on. And so, we think about all the other things that we put into investment, whether it's aluminum, whether it's other things that they're going to need to want to build this manufacturing that exists here in the U.S. or to expand railways, things like that. All of those things come from Canada. A lot of those things come from Canada.
Now,
And
Jamie, I
it's
just
also
just can I just quick jump in? So we heard the Prime Minister Mark Carney come out. We want to be an infrastructure superpower. Love to hear that because it sounds like it's very similar to your paper as well. Infrastructure superpower. In saying that, though, it's going to take a lot of years, even just we were having another conversation about LNG. LNG infrastructure projects take an average of 3 to 4 years to get to production levels. Railway as well would be another major one, some form of transportation, another pipeline, maybe it's cross-border. These kinds of things take time. Does Trump care about that? And will that influence the timing of the tariffs? Will he say, you know what, you guys can't even do it for 2 years, so I'm going to place the tariffs on you, and then in midterms we can rediscuss? Are we going to see that happen? You got about 30 seconds here.
I think Trump wants deals. Deals that put shovels in the ground are the best kinds of deals that he wants. And the faster that we can get a deal that puts shovels in the ground is something that he's interested in, especially if it comes to building something like a pipeline or other energy. And the main reason I would say that is that the energy demand here in the United States has skyrocketed. AI servers are coming online, and they are taking away from the local grids. There's 200, just under 200 natural gas-fired electrical plants under construction in the United States right now, but the pipelines are already almost at capacity.
Jamie,
It's
I just
time
got to
start
cut you off. This is, I want to, we'll get into it in the next segment because this is fantastic. We'll be in touch.